Hi, this is my review presentation for week 11. So the first thing we kind of covered was contextualization of things we've been talking about. So more so the state of nature, which goes from the old order to new world order. Um, and you can kind of see the transition from all this nature to industrialization and quality of life even. Um, Going from old order to new world order. And then we talked about the presidential speech of Obama's reelection. Um, some of the things he said in his speech that stuck out um, and was really similar to what John Winthrop's worldview was, were like things like he kept saying, for the people, by the people, we have to come together as one nation, it's a shared destiny, we're all equal and in union, um, which is basically what John Winthrop says in his wealth, or I mean, in his union of the body. And then we go on to talk about Poe's book. Um, so one of the first things we did was we had Thermos, I think, asked a question about Dirk Peters and the cook. Um, and she was wondering if Poe was representing the time or if it was a literary expression, because the cook was one of the leaders of the mutiny, but it was a negative power. So even though it was different from saying blacks were in powerless positions. In this case, the cook actually has powers, but he's demonized and he has a negative aspect about him. And then we talked about Dirk Peters, who was the Native American in the novel. He's working alongside him, um, but he also has a negative representation. When they describe him, they describe him as really like a beast. He's different. And in the book, even there's other black people, not just those two. Although Dirk Peters isn't black, he's Native American, but they describe the island people as savages and they're anarchists, and they try to kill the group. And then we talked about some of the metaphors in the book. One of the things we said was people once thought you could sail to the middle of the earth and fall into the middle of the earth, and it's an unknown place. But we also talked about metaphors about rocky waters, which kind of explains the times, um, which was a little rocky. And then we talked about the metaphor of the boat, which is a reminder, kind of like, of the transatlantic slavery. And Arthur um, was on the lower level of the boat, which reminds us of um, the state that slaves were brought here in. So basically, we were saying that even though it's a fictional piece, you're writing in cultural consciousness. There's racial imagery, and it's a representation through fiction. And that was all for week 11.